What's up everyone? Welcome to this video, and I am going to be talking about tree saddles, which I know I just did a video on it, but this one is going to be a lot more in-depth, and I'm going to literally walk you through my setup from last year, everything I used, how to use it, and I'm going to try to replicate as if I'm actually going out hunting, so I'm going to get dressed and kind of do all that. Don't mind the mess, kind of have to organize, and I've been pulling things out for turkey season, but yeah, we're gonna talk saddles today, so let's do it. Okay, so now I got everything out, and I'm kind of just gonna do a quick overview of all of the individual pieces that I used this past year, and then I'll kind of talk about them as I'm like setting them up and how I pretty much did things. So mostly everything here and the way that I do it is meant for self-filming. If you have someone else filming you, you can obviously divide and conquer with carrying stuff and how you carry it. But for me, because I'm filming myself, I gotta carry all my camera equipment. So I had a backpack. Typically, if you're using the saddle, a lot of times you can just fit a lot of stuff in here, and if you're not filming, or if you have a cameraman, then you might not even need a backpack because the saddle is meant to carry everything. So backpack, binos, I'll talk about how I kind of did that, you know, when I get set up. So then we got obviously the saddle itself. This is the Phantom. And then we've got these, I call them saddle bags. I think they're called haulers. And you pretty much just, you can kind of customize this, get as many as you want, or they have different sizes. And there are these clips, and you pretty much just slide, like twist them sideways, and then slide them up through this little mini belt here on whichever one you want. And then you pop them out the other side, and they stick on there, and they're not going anywhere. So these are awesome for carrying stuff. I would put gloves or snacks, whatever. You can literally fill it with whatever. Sometimes if I'm walking around, I'll carry my ropes in these. Kind of just depends on the situation, but got your saddle. Then, so this rope here is, I believe these sizes are 11 millimeter. So this one is meant to be your actual lineman rope. That's how you get up the tree. Then you got your actual tether, which is what you're gonna hang from once you're in the tree. Both have carabiners, and this one is just your rope. I guess, I don't know what this part's called, like slide. You'll see, you can move it around. But then this one is a different piece, which I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then obviously your platform, this is the Predator platform, and they have a pack that holds the platform, which is super nice. I'll show you how I did that as well. And you got your recliner, back support piece. Highly recommend having some sort of back support if you're gonna do all day sits. And this I used, it's actually a seat cushion. Got it at Walmart, and I use it for my knee cushion. 100% need one of these as well. Tethrd actually has some that they made this year, which I'll show you those. This is a little goodie bag of new stuff, so I'll show you that once I'm done doing all this. And then stuff that is not tethered, I've got the Hawk climbing sticks, the Hawk Helium sticks that I used this past year. I'll show you those. Then this is called the Reach camera arm, and then it's got the bracket, which I'll show you that as well. And I don't even know what kind of fluid head this is. I cannot remember. Manfrotto fluid head, which I put my main filming camera on, and then the camera you guys are looking through right now was my little second shot angle, which I had just a little mini tripod that I had flexible legs on, and I would just wrap that around a branch. So I'll show you all that as well, but that's kind of like the gist of, oh, I missed this. This is the, I forget the name of it. It's kind of just like a rope that you can hang around the tree, and then you can hang stuff off of it. There's clips you can hang your backpack on, or they've got a bow hook as well. I used that quite a bit too, so that was super handy. And it's obviously lightweight, so you're not carrying a bunch of extra stuff. So anyway, that is about the gist of everything, and I'm gonna go put it in a tree and I'll show you how I do all that. So basically, when I would go out, pretty much what I would do, any and all camera equipment would go into my backpack. And then anything extra, like binos, would go in there. Sometimes if I wanted them handy, I would just put them around my neck, but for carrying, just to hike in the morning, and somewhere in the backpack. And platform would always go in the Predator pack. Since I have, which these have backpack straps. If you want to just, like, if you don't have a backpack, you can wear this as a backpack. Obviously, I have a backpack, so I didn't do that, but you just fasten it. They've got a bunch of hooks and stuff everywhere, so you can tighten and adjust and whatever. But I would do that, and then this mini handle in the middle here, I've got a clip on the top of my backpack, so I would just clip the handle in. Kind of just let it hang, just like that. Then sticks, kind of just depends how many I had. If I had all 4, which I have 4 of these, sometimes I'd only bring 3. You can either kind of put them across your back here, or I would put them on all these straps here in the middle, however they fit, kind of. Straps, which I really love this backpack. It's the Badlands Sprint. I have no idea if they still make it or not. I've had this backpack for a while, but anyway, I had sticks on and then the platform on the outside of those to kind of keep everything together. Kind of like that. Then for saddle, oh, and then then my cushion, I would just like, sometimes I'd either loosen the strap or whatever, and then I'd also put that in the same clip as the pack. Just kind of let it hang on the outside, just like that. But then for the saddle, these saddle bags are nice because you can stick all your ropes in them. Or, like if I'm going into a new spot and I don't want to like have everything just out, I would try to like kind of organize and put everything in the bags. But sometimes if I'm like just tearing stuff down and then moving to another tree like the same day, instead of just like trying to fit everything back in, these, what I would do is just clip them onto the saddle and then kind of just like throw them around my neck, like just around the back, let them hang. They're easy, they're right there. That way you don't have to go through and waste time digging through stuff. Kind of personal preference, just kind of what I found worked best for me. But these I would just typically fold up, throw them in the bags, and these bags, they don't look big, but they hold quite a lot of stuff. You can fit both ropes into the same one if you want to. So I would usually do that, both ropes in one, and then any like extra stuff, like this one or this, stick in the other one. Or snacks. I put a lot of snacks in the bags because they're easy to get to. So you're not digging through and trying to find it in your backpack, making all the noise. I don't know, just kind of what worked. So, show all that in. think that's it. So then, just put the saddle on. And then what I do, like when I'm walking, because sometimes this belt likes to kind of be loose, I'll literally put it higher than it's supposed to be, like kind of up more on my hips. That way it's like less weight pulling me down. And I'll tighten it just around my waist, just for walking. And then when I get to the stand, that way it's not falling down when I'm trying to walk in. Put your leg straps on. And then what I would do is grab my stuff, flip it on. Highly recommend a backpack with a chest strap and hip straps if you have them. Do all that, and then for my chest strap, sometimes I'd have like all this extra rope, which you can obviously tighten it, but I find that it helps if you're walking a far distance. You loosen this and then just strap it into your chest strap so it's there, it's not sliding around. There you have it. That's how I would go. And then obviously I have my bow, and I usually put that over my neck if I'm like really tired, or by my side, just however you feel. But then most of the weight's on your hips and it's not like yanking you too much. You just gotta kind of feel what feels best for you, but yeah. So this is it. We're gonna go head over to a tree and set up as if we're hunting. Alright, so for the purposes of this video, I'm only gonna get like 3 feet off the ground just because, I don't know, it's just easier to film. So anyway. Find a tree that you like, which with a saddle, they're pretty adjustable, so they're really good at getting into almost any tree. I would not say every tree, but you can get into a lot smaller trees that you might not be able to with a tree stand. So I really like that factor because it just kind of allowed me to get into more trees this past year and sit almost exactly where I wanted to be. So find a tree, whatever, and then what I would do, obviously you take the backpack off, kind of lay everything out, well, not everything, just the sticks, the pack, and the knee pad. So this past year, which I don't think I'm going to be using these again, we'll see, but I got the Helium sticks, and main reason being they're pretty heavy. I think for myself going out carrying everything, they're pretty heavy. If you have sets that are going to be more stationary, you're not moving around too much, they might be the way to go because they're solid. So what I pretty much did is, they come with straps obviously. I would use gear ties to just kind of keep everything together so it's not flopping around. I don't know, kind of just worked easiest. Then setting them up. I don't know how detailed you guys really want me to be, but for anyone who doesn't even know what this is or how to use it, I'm just going to show you my exact process. Okay, so they've got these hooks on the ends of the strap. They just go around your center. And I'm just going to put it low for the video, but what I like to do is you kind of got to know your stepping distance, your reach. And what I would do is put your leg up, And you want your step to be just a touch higher, I think, than what you can actually reach, because that'll help you get a little bit higher. So like if the bottom of my foot's here, I kind of want to just sit it almost at the top. Put it around. And I like to put a little bit of pressure on it and then tighten it before I let go. Is that pressure? And then also the reason you want it a little bit higher than your reach is because when you go to step on it or put weight on it, it's gonna slide down and like lock into where it really should be, so it works out. Kind of just how I do it. So obviously you would put all your sticks up, whatever you're gonna do, and then I like to just kind of tuck these in the middle to get them out of the way. There you have it. So after that, also actually at this point you're probably, like if you're starting to work your way up the tree, you're gonna need your lineman rope, which is this guy. I mean, you can use whichever one, but the main like way that you're supposed to use it is you take 2 carabiners. This is a carabiner for anyone who doesn't know, clips. You're gonna put one on the solid end, I guess you would call it, of your rope. And your saddle has these like loops. Put one on there. And then you're just gonna put it around the tree like this. And then your other side, you're gonna do the same thing, clip it in. And then you're just gonna use this and tighten it to whatever length, however big the tree is. And this is what's gonna support your weight. Now at this point, like I said, when I was walking, I always have my saddle higher than what it really should be. So at this point, I loosen my belt so that your saddle isn't like way up. I know this is kind of weird, but you're gonna pull it down because you kind of want that like 45-degree angle, I guess, coming off the tree, because you want to be able to kind of put your weight into it and lean into it. So yeah, then this part you just adjust as you need to, tighten as you need to, because this is what's going to support you. I kind of cheated last year and I did not do it this way because I didn't feel comfortable with it. And I find that if you have a tree that has a ton of limbs in it, like this one, every 5 seconds you're having to unhook, put it around the next one, rehook in, and I don't think that's the safest way. So what I did is I used this rope as if it were a tether. So you're pretty much going to use it the same way you would use your tether, only you're only going to have this go halfway up the tree. So pretty much climb yourself up to a height that's safe, that you're not going to fall and kill yourself. And then what I would do is wrap it around the tree as high as I could get it, like meaning above as many branches as I could. And so it would be like this. And then you just put your loose end through the loop, plus your carabiner and your slide. So all that through. So basically then you just pull it tight, and instead of having it just around the tree, then you got this whole rope that you can lean on, slide this part if you need to, and you're just gonna hook yourself in. And I find this is easier to hang straps because you can like move around the tree if you have to, especially if you have a really fat tree and you're like trying to reach, can't quite get it. This helps you kind of still slide around, but your weight is on the tree. So even if you relax and put your weight, like shift your weight, you're not gonna fall. So I'll show you the other way how you're supposed to do it. But this is how I would do it. I would do this like halfway up, and then as I would climb, I would leave myself attached to this one. You know, if I would fall, I'd still at least be attached. Get as high as I can to like basically the end of this rope, and I'd be up there. And I'd do the same thing with this one, which is, that's actually how you're supposed to attach this one as well. And then I'd clip in, and then I'd have this one loose, so that way when I climb down, you know, when I get to like here, I can grab this rope and hook onto it, detach from this one, and I'm still safe. If that makes sense. It might be a little confusing, but basically I'm hooked onto this one, climb up, hook onto that one, then detach from this one, and then the opposite when I come down. That's not really like the official way you're supposed to use a lineman's rope, but I find it easier, but still safe either way. So how you're actually supposed to use it is kind of how I said at the beginning. You're gonna have 2 carabiners. I also like that first way just because then when you're done using this rope and you hook onto the other one, you don't have to find a place to put this. It's already on the tree, it's not going anywhere. But that's just personal preference. Alright, so basically what you're going to do is have one end hooked on already. Then your other end is going to go around the tree, which I like to try to get it as high as I can. But not crazy high, because you still have to have that like 45-degree angle to sit safely. But I'll show you. Okay, so this is about how it is for this tree. Hook in. Okay. So now this is where my weight is. If I'm climbing up, obviously this is loose, so if I lean back I'm going to be way out here, which you don't want. You want like that comfortable. Hang on. See, this is why I don't like it, because I'm not comfortable with it. But obviously, like, this is okay. Like, you can sit like this. But I feel like if you're leaning a certain way, you know, if you don't, so some trees obviously don't have branches. Personally, I like to put them over top of a branch. That way, if I do kind of slide a certain way, at least this is gonna have tension on it. But if you're on like a slick tree, no limbs, this part makes me nervous, just having a lineman rope, because I feel like you can easily slide and not have that constant pressure. Saddles are meant to be constant pressure, and that's what keeps you from falling. So the pressure is, I don't know, like if you loosen up, you can slip or whatever. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm not the best at explaining it, but like even right now, like, see? You don't want that. You don't always want to trust all your equipment, like sticks and stuff, so like you want that security in your rope, and if you're moving kind of weird, sometimes I don't like it. So then you gotta deal with trying to get your stuff back together. Anyway, that was a somewhat good example, I guess, of why I don't personally like doing it this way, but like actual like linemen, this is what they use. It is safe if you do it correctly, basically is what I'm getting at. So, and then you kind of just loosen yourself to adjust. And you would pretty much just use this to climb, whatever. I'm not going to do it that way because I don't like it. I'm not here to like sell you on saddles either. Like, some people might genuinely not be comfortable, but truly, I used to use Well, I've used everything except a climber. I've never used a climber, so I can't speak for that. I hear they're very dangerous though, so I don't know. But someone who's not very fond of heights, I really don't have an issue with saddles. Like, I really genuinely like them. You just have to practice and know what you're doing. So that's kind of why I'm trying to make this video, is just to help you guys, if you are wanting a saddle, to use it the right way so it benefits you the best. So anyway, moving on. Or this video is going to be so long, but let's just pretend I'm up in the tree and I'm going to put my platform in. So, sorry, I live by a highway. Anyway, usually what I do is I'll either put this pack, I'll either put this pack back on my backpack or just kind of hang it on a limb or something, because you don't really need it once you're up in the tree. But this is very similar to hanging a tree stand. It's just obviously much smaller and lighter, and I think a lot easier. But it's kind of the same concept. Your center is where your weight is going to be held. Just goes around the tree. And then the Predator platform's awesome because they have this screw right here in the middle, which I don't know if you can see it, that if you twist it in and out, you can choose which way you want to go, but it will determine how steep your platform sits. So you can twist it. If you're in a weird tree that's like this, you can loosen it. Wait, loosen it, and it'll go down more. So that way you're not standing like this. You can adjust your platform so that you feel comfortable and you're level. So I like to offset my platform a little bit from my sticks, so it's an easier step to get to and from. Yeah, we'll do this side. So we're up in the tree, blah, blah, blah. I'll just put it around this limb. But you're gonna start with it closed, because when you open it, it locks onto the tree. Gotta love all the limbs in the way. Okay, I actually did this. So, keep your platform up in the lock position. Let me adjust this actually. Self-filming struggles. Okay. Lock it as much as you can, and then down into the tree. And now see, I guess the angle's kind of funky. Hang on. See how coming out of the tree, it's, I don't know if you can really tell, but it's kind of, because I just twisted that screw, it's kind of leaning out more. You just literally twist this. It's really hard for me to show you guys, but I can make it more level, basically. Okay. That's about good, I would say. So anyway. I have a really short tripod, so. Okay. So that's really all there is to it. I mean, you really want to get it tight, which is hard to do from this angle, but lock it in, and I like to just get that out of the way, but your weight is what keeps it locked in a lot of times too, depending on the tree. I'll actually loosen that. You just have to play around with it, figure out what works for you. So that looks good. So at this point, by now I should have already had my tether, or no, now we're gonna do this tether rope. So you would climb up, what I like I said, I would climb up with that other one to like as high as I could get it, and then hook into this one, or at least get this high enough to where I can hook into it and then adjust it as I need to move up. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll just show you. And what's great about like having it as a tether is you can use it like to hold on to. You know, sometimes you don't want the weight in your hips, you want to hold on to it, and it's good for that. Alright. So the way to use this, this is, literally cannot think of the name. I'm so terrible with remembering names of stuff. But your slide for your carabiner. I love these metal ones because the rope ones are fine. Like these ones are fine. They'll do just fine. But sometimes, like when you really need to slide them and you got weight on it, they're so tight they just like don't want to slide. So what's great is these metal ones, you literally just lift this little latch here. I don't know how well you can see it. You just lift it and it slides up or down. You just have to be careful. You don't want to pull on that when your weight is on it because you'll fall. But I was kind of concerned about that when I first started using it, but I didn't have any issues, so it should be fine. Okay, anyway, getting in the tree. So by now, I'll grab my backpack. Typically I'll have a bow rope that I'll take up with me. I'll hook it onto my bow and then I'll pull my bow up last. Kind of just what works best for me, but yeah. Anyway, do this. This guy usually clipped in. Pull myself up. And typically when I'm in the tree, I like to have my tether roughly forehead height. I find that's the best angle. But I might actually have to move this because I can't get any higher, so hold on. But anyway, look, this is a great example. I'm literally, all my weight is on my tether. Okay, so I'm hands-free essentially. And so if I need to move my platform, if it's not the right spot, I can do that. Like, right now. You can lean into stuff, you can back away, like it's super nice for hands-free type movements. Okay. I might even have to go lower. Hold on. Okay, so anyway, this is a good example too if I want to descend. Instead of having all my weight in it, I want to lean forward, take all my weight out of it, then loosen the carabiner, and then go down. Take some practice, for sure. But it's really not that hard.